And we are now about to be joined by Sydney Watson. Just got her first weekend with Team USA down in Dallas. Such a cool thing, of course, now going on to her last year with UConn. Sydney, thanks for coming on. I'm sure it was a really fun weekend for you.
Of course, yes. It was so much fun, especially being my first time down there with this team. It was incredible.
What was, I guess, did it live up to your expectations? I guess, how do you feel now coming out of it as you look back over the course of the weekend?
It surpassed my expectations. I knew going into it was going to be a fast game, competitive game, a lot different than what I may have seen before, and it was exactly that. Playing next to the best players in the country was absolutely amazing, and I was honored to be invited and get to play next to those players.
So, you show up, you get to all the gear, you put on a jersey that says USA. Take me back to that moment. What's it like?
Moment of shock. They actually sent me a box of gear to Connecticut, obviously because this one wasn't in Sparks, Maryland. I opened that box and my jaw just dropped. It's just an honor that I can't even put words to. And especially next to all of these women that have been doing this for a long time, being the new face. It was definitely intimidating, but the entire team was so welcoming, helped me out any way they could, and it was a truly great experience.
Yeah, what did that mean to you, knowing, your, where you come from, your backstory, your family, and all that? What did it mean to be able to say, you belong there and you're a part of this?
It means everything. Definitely coming from Southern Maryland when I was getting recruited, lacrosse wasn't very big here. It's honestly a goal that I feel like all young girls have at a young age. And I can truly say I never thought I would be able to get to a place like that. I am very happy with my choice of going to UConn, but UConn isn't one of those big name schools that are usually have players invited to these types of events. And being from UConn and getting invited there is just something that I will always remember and always be very happy and proud to have done.
How'd you play? How do you feel like you did?
I feel like I did all right. Keeping up with these players is definitely tough. I had to work extremely hard to show myself and be able to be on the same field as these players. Of course, it being my first time, I'm going in with all these nerves and everything like that, but I am proud with the way I played. Of course, there were times where I could have done better, but I am happy with the way it went.
Okay, good. That's always, that makes things feel pretty good at the end of the day, too. Not that you wouldn't have played well, but you never, you get into that atmosphere. It's so like, all right, here we go, right? This is it.
Yeah. Yep, thrown into it right away.
Sydney, in learning more about your story, and you mentioned growing up in Southern Maryland, and in hearing your coach at UConn talk about recruiting you, it's not like you were going to all these big national tournaments like some other different players. Now having an opportunity to represent the country, and you're there at a big national tournament with all these players from all over the place that want to be where you are ultimately now, wearing the red, white, and blue in Team USA. What do you think your story can send to some of those other players, knowing that, hey, maybe if we aren't recruited by the Marylands, the North Carolinas, the whatever, I can still get to this level?
I think my story can show younger players that even if they don't get these opportunities, that you can still work towards it. Just because you don't go to those schools or you don't get to travel to all of these places doesn't mean you can't be one of the best players there are. We got to guest coach teams this weekend, and I got to guest coach a team from Kentucky, and they were sharing that they don't get noticed as much as other teams from the Marylands, the Northeastern areas, and they're just happy to get to places like this and get seen by anyone. And I told them, I understand this completely. You just have to put the work in and reach out and do what you need to do to make yourself known.
Yeah, and you've used your voice not just for that, but also as a black woman in this sport. What does it mean for you to have this platform to help those that feel underrepresented, in this world that you have obviously done so well in, and also it serves as an example of what can be done there too?
It is a huge honor to play at this level in general, but especially as a woman of color. lacrosse is a predominantly white sport, and not many girls of color think they can be at this level or be as good as everyone else. But I want to show them or be that person for them to see that you can do whatever you put your mind to, no matter what you look like. If you love the sport, play it. Show other people that you're just as good as everyone else, and there is no difference.
What steps do you think lacrosse needs to take to be more inclusive and to help people like you feel more welcome?
I mean, I think there's so many things that can be done. I mean, I think, like me right now, hearing the stories of how I got here, how being Black affected me in this sport, hearing everyone's stories of what they're going through, what they have gone through, will always push the game in the right direction. Being inclusive as a team, making sure your team supports you, supports everyone, are the smaller steps that can be taken. But I mean, we're going in the right direction now, but there is always going to be more steps that can lead us closer to where we want to be.
And I think one of the cool things for you now, especially with how hard you've worked and the level you've gotten to, is now you have more of a platform. And I have to think that has to be really cool, especially now you're on a UConn team that made the NCAA tournament a year ago. You get another year. What is that platform, whether it's representing Team USA, helping put UConn more on the map in terms of the national scene? What does that platform mean to you?
It means a lot to me. I mean, coming to UConn, I came in not expecting to play. I didn't come in with that high head that I thought I was a great player. I mean, these coaches helped me improve my game tremendously over the years, and I'm happy that I could help this team be able to be seen. I was talking to a few people at the tournament, and they didn't even know of UConn or lacrosse, and I got to share with them that, yeah, this past year was the first year in a bit that we got to the NCAAs and got to play against teams that we don't normally get to play against. I think getting UConn and these other schools on the map is helping to grow the game.
I mean, yeah, a couple of years ago, you went 3-14. That's quite the turnaround to 7 last year, right? I mean, you experienced that and went through that, right?
Yeah. I mean, as a program, we've definitely had our ups and downs, but we've been resilient through all of it. And that was not the season we all thought we were going to have. That wasn't the season we wanted to have, but we overcame that obstacle and continued to grow after that.
Well, what was the difference this past year for you guys?
I think COVID gave us a little bit of we have something to prove here. We started off that COVID season that got cut off 5-2. We were already doing things that we wanted to do. We were going in the right direction. And when that got cut off, we wanted to play for that team, those seniors that didn't come back and didn't get to continue their ride. We wanted to push and definitely, like I said, have something to prove. And I think we proved that.
Yeah, and I can imagine, like you said, experience playing some of these bigger schools and bigger programs, like playing in a Big East championship, playing an NCAA tournament. That has had to help you, give you some momentum in fall ball. Be like, okay, now we know what it looks like, right? Now we know sort of what we can build on going into the next year.
For sure, especially playing Virginia. I mean, we obviously did lose that game, but we were neck and neck with them until halftime and even a little past halftime. So we proved to ourselves that we can play with these bigger schools. We can compete. We just have to want to outwork them. Yeah,
scored 13 goals in that game.
Yeah.
Sydney had a hat trick. Yeah. I mean, come on, right? You're right there, right?
Yep.
So back to this USA weekend, a lot of content coming out of the trip to the Cowboys Stadium, AT&T Stadium, Jerry World down there. Are you a Cowboys fan?
I am not a Cowboys fan. I'm actually a New Orleans Saints fan.
Oh, okay.
We're not doing too hot right now, but being in that stadium was absolutely amazing. I mean, being on the field and just seeing what the players see when they're out there, it was absolutely amazing.
Right. I mean, it's so big, right? It's got to feel
so big.
Like when you step, because you were on the field, right? Like you got to see, look around, and be like, wow, this is insane.
Yeah, huge. And our tour guide were giving us all sorts of facts, and we were like, this is insane. Like, a few of the players, when we got down on the field, were like, wow, I thought the star in the middle of the field was so much bigger. Just the little things about the entire trip were great.
How many like Cowboys fans were there in the group? Like, you're, guys, obviously it's Team USA. You're from all over the place.
Charlotte was definitely the biggest fan. She had her jacket on. She was starstruck. It was so much fun.
Wow. All right.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Hey, you know what? I think it's really cool for the sport to have the stadium Twitter account tweet out a picture of you guys there right in the middle at the 50-yard line. I thought that was a really cool moment.
Yeah. I mean, we want to grow the sport. We want more people to know about USA Lacrosse, and them posting that definitely gave us more outlook on other people who may not have known about it. Just having the support of other sports, professional or not, is definitely a step in the right direction.
Well, Sydney, such an incredible honor for you to have the opportunity to represent Team USA. We thank you so much for the time. I know it's been a crazy travel weekend for you as you get to go back home for the Thanksgiving break. But good luck as you get ready for your final year there at UConn, and we'll be watching.
Thank you so much.